and welcome to another episode of the Top Notch Coaching Network. My name is Still Confidence in Me, and I am your host as usual. I am delighted once again to be here on this channel because I am certain that somebody is going to learn something new today. Last week we talked about an important law, the law of mentorship in wealth creation. You will do well to log on to our channel at Top Notch Coaching Network to view that video if you have not done so, because I am certain it will bless you in no small way. Today we want to look at another vital law. Like I always say, that the absence of one of these laws can spell the difference between your success or your failure in life. And today's law is no exemption. Today we want to look at the law of financial accountability or financial management. The law of financial accountability or financial management is simply your ability to account for or to manage the resources that comes into your hand. I have no doubt that a lot of people know about this law, even though they don't call it a law. Common sense even tells us that we should learn to manage our resources. But the question is this: even though you know this law, and even though a lot of people do know this law, the question is, how many people are truly managing their resources? Some people do not manage their resources simply because they believe it is not enough, that it is too small, that the money is not even enough to take them home. So how can they manage or put something aside from something that is not enough? And some people will say when they begin to earn a lot of money, then they will learn how to manage. But the truth is this: you do not learn to manage when you are big. You actually learn to manage so you can grow big. The truth is still this again, that until you are faithful in that little, you cannot be faithful in much, because nobody creates wealth from mismanagement. I want to say this, and I want you to pay attention to this because it's quite important. That money, you see this money you see, irrespective of the country's currency, that money has a soul. Money has a spirit. It knows when it is being mismanaged. Money does not care about your religion, it does not care about your sex, it does not care about your sexual preferences, it does not care whether you are kind or whether you are good or whether you are bad. Money will simply go to anybody who knows how to manage it. There's a saying that is popular among the Yoruba people from the western part of Nigeria, and that is that money is like a visitor. It will only stay where it is welcomed. Calvin Olori said something. He said that money is like karma. It knows when it is being mismanaged, and it remembers when it is being when it was being disrespected. So the next time you are tempted to mismanage your resources, remember that money is a spirit. It has a soul, and it will remember. And when it does, it's always at a bad time. I remember when I used to have this problem myself. I remember when I used to earn like 70,000 naira. I lived in my own flat, a family house, so I didn't pay rent. The house was furnished, so I had little or no responsibility besides taking care of myself. But the truth is, even with that 70,000 naira, I noticed that even before the month ends, I couldn't account for that money. Sometimes I have to borrow even before the end of the month. It was not that I smoked or that I drank or that I womanized. I even paid my tithes regularly, and yet I could barely make ends meet, even though I was earning something good. At a point, I began to think I was jinxed, So I started going from one prayer house to the other, praying against devourers, considering being that I paid my tithe. So I thought something was wrong with me. But when I learned about this law that I was breaking, I learned it from financial studies, that I was breaking the law of financial accountability and financial management. And so I decided to start applying what I had learned. So I got myself a book where I put down all my financial records. I had the financial record book where I recorded every money that comes my way, the way I want to spend it, and the way I spent it. I learned how to prepare a budget and stick to it. And as I continued consistently with this financial practice, I began to learn to control my finances, and circumstances began to change. So I now knew it was not that I was jinxed, it was because I was breaking a financial law. With time, I began to be happy with my finances because now I could control my finances. Dave Ramsey says something, that money will move from those who do not know how to manage it to those who knows how to manage it. If you do not learn to manage your resources when it is still small, there is no way you will manage it when it becomes big. You have to understand this thing, that if you spend your tomorrow today, what will you spend when that tomorrow finally comes? Olumide Emmanuel taught me this thing. He said that every money that comes into your hand contains your present and your future. Every money, no matter how small, that comes into your hand contains your present and contains your future. So if you spend your present and your future, automatically you will have no future. Sam Adeyemi will always say, if you cannot put aside 20% of your income or your salary, then put aside 10. If 10 still is too big, then put aside 5. If you think 5 is still too big based on what you are earning or the responsibilities you have, then put aside at least 1%. But by all means and at all costs, put something aside. Like I said, it is not about the money. It is about the habit. It is the habit that creates the wealth, not just the money alone. Calvin Olin will always say something. He said that the system of this world is designed to take everything that you earn. You will always have responsibilities, but you must learn to keep something aside. You must learn to manage the resources that comes your way, because if you don't, you will not be able to create wealth. As often as you break this law, irrespective of your religious bias, irrespective of your personality or your country or your continent, as long as you cannot manage your resources, you will not be able to create wealth. So wherever you are today, start from where you are today, and build gradually. Remember, it is not about the money, it is about the habit. It is the habit that enables you to create wealth. Start learning to manage your resources. Start learning to account for the money, the salaries, the incomes that comes into your hand, and you are on your way to your wealthy place. Till I come your way again next time. Thank you, and God bless you.